think about you guys and I'll talk to you in my head. But we're still kind of busy. Like we have, let's see, 2 houses for sale. We have a house to move into, and we're still trying to sell the one that we're in before we do that. So, my head's all over the place. We don't like to do things half-assed, although I started to do them kind of half-assed just because I found I wouldn't make a video at all. So that's how come you get my little page here instead of like me putting time into making a video with inserting pictures and stuff. But this is how I started out, although I used to actually just handwrite in front of my phone. So this isn't so bad. But I thought of a good example because I know I had a couple people following me that were, their spouse was what my spouse is, okay? And then also it's just kind of fun, I think, when you hear another INFJ talking. I think it's fun. I just love that energy of that recognition, that when we resonate, I don't know. So I figure if I like it, I can supply it for other people that maybe won't make a channel. You know how it is. So here I am. So that's me, obviously. And then that's my husband, TJ. Okay, so to me, he's a classic one of him, and I'm pretty classic one of me. Except for one thing I do notice, my J is not as pronounced. When I see my percentages, it makes sense to me because I have other girlfriends that are more J than me. Matter of fact, one of them is my friend Jill, and she does the hikes and stuff. We've done stuff together. Her name is Average Jill, and she does her little thing. And when I have to paint or something, I ask her to help me because she'll do a better job with prep. Like, I demand perfect prep because it's super important, and it would drive me crazy if it wasn't done right, but I don't have the patience to do it. And that's how my percentage of J makes sense to me, because I'm only like 10%. Like, I'm not going to make my bed every day. Well, I'll make it. I need the sheets up, but I'm not going to make it all perfect. Okay, I'm definitely veering off now. So back to the comparison. So if you've heard me talk about this relationship, I think it's really a good example to show, because we've been together a really long time. So I've seen a lot of stuff. We've had to make compromises. The older we get, the more compromises we make. And that's going to come up in what should be a short story. So here's just a random example. Because of those properties that I said we are selling, I have to keep them mowed. Now, my husband's J is a lot more pronounced than mine, so it's kind of like I just described to you. Matter of fact, we just talked about painting a certain room in the new place, and I said, don't worry, I'm going to ask Jill to do that part. And I tried to comfort him and saying, listen, she's like you, okay? It'll be perfect. But he has that whole perfection thing. And then because of the sensor thinker part, he also has like stubbornness and being an introvert. He never speaks things, so he never gets challenged. So he's super stubborn. Listen, I know it sounds negative, but being stubborn is helpful sometimes. That's why I like to talk about our differences, because as much as it is hard not to be understood, I value what he brings to my life because of those differences. And when I say that, I'm talking about the ST. So my example is the lawn. He wanted the lawn mowed at one of our properties. Now I do too, but when he wants it mowed, he's all tense, The lawn needs to get mowed. Yeah, I know, honey, I'm on it. Meaning I saw it, I saw the length, it's getting a tad, untidy, and when people come to look at it, we want to put our best foot forward. I know that too, I'm just not willing to pop a vein over it. But it's easier for me, because I do agree with him, it's easier for me to just say, I'll do it today, because I can do it today. So why not just, make that easy for him? So, but the differences I know is the reasons why the lawn got mowed. His reasons are, and this is a trigger word for me with him or anyone, it should, he's always, the energy of the shoulds. And it should get done. So whenever he has that attitude, I always say, you have a case of the supposed does, and he never acknowledges that I say anything. But I really feel that way, supposed to be done. It's supposed to look perfect. Now, that's the only reason he needs. That's the only reason. It's a little long. I noticed. It should be perfect. Make it happen. That's as clean cut as they can be. And that's another reason I like to talk about this type, is because when you live with one for 25 years, and you know him like a book, and you're an INFJ, so you're comparing him with everyone anyway, it's pretty apparent like what they're made of, So that's clear, concise. It's a little long. We want it to look good. It should get done. Do it. Easy to read his brain. Now, the funny part is, for me, is it's never such a small conversation or thought. It's, now what I said was like 4 sentences for him. For me, it's, do I have anything else going on that day? Do I want to wear my dirty clothes, or like not take a shower and do 2 things that'll get me dirty and then hop over there and mow the lawn? Do I want to move the lawn mowing day to closer to the weekend, because that's when people will come and that'll be like ultra perfect, perfectly clipped? How's the weather? And then when I get there, there's more thoughts. I'm only going to mow the tall parts. Now, that alone would drive him absolutely crazy, because in the category of lawn mowing in his brain, there's only one set of instructions. It's mow the effing lawn. You mow all the lawn. You mow whatever is your property from the beginning to the end, and you mow it in, a pattern, right? And I make fun of him, but I value those, the way he naturally is. It's helpful to me sometimes, because sometimes I overthink, and he can just chop that right down. You just chop all my thinking at least in half, and it's comforting. So as much as I laugh and I make fun of him, I need that, So anyways, then when I get to the lawn, it's, I'm only going to mow the lawn part, the long parts, the tall parts of the lawn, because I'll get done faster. It's not necessary. It goes against my INFJness to do something that's unnecessary. It's also efficiency. I'm a Virgo, and I'm all about efficiency. I've always been like that. I like that about myself, not wasting my time. So I'm going to mow, and then I'm going to mow however I feel like mowing. There's no beginning of the lawn and end of the lawn. I'm going to do it however I want to do it. And I just think that's funny. I think it's funny. And the way that I handle our relationship is, I don't tell him any of this anymore. I keep him out of the equation. He's not in the equation. And I know what he needs. And I guess is this why people say we're manipulative? You can call it manipulative, but that's kind of a dirty word usually. I'm managing because I'm an empath. I know how he feels. I can feel his tension. Why would I try to impose my views on him? It's never worked. That's what I'm here to tell you. Here's what this relationship looks like 25 years later. It's We gradually and stubbornly learned to pick your own battles, pick important battles. And this took a really long time. When I found out the type I was, I think I helped a lot because I stopped trying to get him to see my point of view because I wanted validation from my point of view. Like, I probably 20 years ago, I'm sure I would have spent time and I would have got my feelings hurt. Now it's like the way the universe lines up is that he's not anywhere near me when I'm mowing lawns, so I just mow it however I want. Nobody argues. He gets what he wants. I get what I want by not telling him what I'm doing because it's none of his business anyway. He got what he needed. And here's one other change that happened over the years. He gave up like looking back at my work because that did not go over well for him. All right, because I always defend myself. And the older I got, the more I defended myself, and he had to change. Like maybe back in the day, he would have, next time he happened to see that property, he would have went to look. Or if he noticed that it was long, or a different length or whatever, he would have said, well, at least you could have mowed the whole thing. Or, now he doesn't do that anymore, which is helpful. So I guess you just get tired of arguing as you get older. But I don't know. I thought somebody might enjoy that. I have one other thing I might talk about. We'll have to see. But that's it. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm doing well. I'm doing my usual INFJ stuff. I have an existentialist crisis every 3 weeks. Why am I here? Why does anything I do matter? Who cares about anything I think? But then I go look it up and then it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of what we do. And plus the older I get too, I guess, because I don't fall for some of the traps I used to fall for that would distract me or keep me busy. Now I'm like, oh, I have all this time. I have to do things that matter because I got a lot of my needs met. So I think I've concluded that it's time for me to like look out into the world and see what other people need and just give it to them. Give it to them for free. I don't know. As I say, I'm still kind of I'm always in the middle of, what am I doing here? Not even a crisis, just like, All right, well, give me a comment if you can relate to that in particular. And I'll see you when I see you. Take care, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Bye.